Hey everyone, how's it going? I am Xeracon and I am back once again with another video, and today we are back at episode wait, this is episode 3, right? We are back once again with Was It Good? The series where I am going to be examining shows, games, books, etc., and see if they were really good, if they were actually good, if it was just nostalgia, and see how they hold up and compare to today. So today we are talking about Batman the Animated Series, which is one of the one of the earliest shows I remember watching as a kid. I mean, I've definitely seen, my fair share of stuff as kids. I remember watching Arthur. I remember watching Veggie Tales. I remember watching um, Disney stuff, like all Disney movies and stuff like that. But Batman's just one of the things that I don't really even remember how I got into it. It's just something that I remember having. Um, I know that I had Batman toys bought for me. I remember I had Batman bed sheets bought. I remember like I had Batman pajamas at one point too. When I was young, I was like I think 6 or so. I had like a Batman, sort of like a full. Well, I'm going off topic and everything, of course, but the point is that like Batman was something that was part of me at a young age, and Batman is my favorite superhero. And I just like enjoyed reading originally just watching the show, but then of course actually eventually reading the comics, earlier stuff, later stuff, and even current stuff. Um, I mean not now, but like current as far as like a while back. But I've just enjoyed Batman. So going back and looking at the series, as a kid, I was strangely actually I wasn't too thrilled over the show. I mean, don't get me wrong, I liked it, but I always for some reason thought that the new Batman Adventures was better just because I liked the design of Batman more in that one. So that's why I sort of like had a tendency to uh sort of side with that. And I mean, and also just to let you know, for the sake of this video, I am just looking at Batman the Animated Series slash The Adventures of Batman and Robin, and I'm holding the new Batman Adventures separately. I might talk about that later on in a new video. I don't know, but I just want to put that out there that I'm having everything separated. But back on topic, so that's sort of something like that. I was watching, I was like, I mean, I like this, but I really prefer, new Batman Adventures. But then things sort of changed. So Batman the Animated Series started in 1992 and like ended in 1995, which really I really was watching reruns of that because I was only born in 95, so yeah. So I was watching that like on Cartoon Network, Toonami, and stuff like that. And although I did have videos, I had some VHS tapes, which was how I was mainly watching, and I rewatched those over and over again. And of course, like I said, I watched some episodes on Cartoon Network, and stuff like that. Though eventually, years later, though, when they released it on the complete series on DVD, that's how I was able to actually fully watch the entire series because there were episodes I hadn't seen before, and like I even still go back to it. And in fact, this past winter I was watching it and I was thinking to myself, oh my gosh, like this series is truly phenomenal. I mean I've always sort of thought about that ever since I sort of got the DVD sets, because then I realized something that I didn't even know about as a kid was the fact that the series is better. It's gotten better as I've watched it. Just as a kid, I wasn't really interested in the stories and stuff. I was interested in like the characters and whatnot. I mean, like if they looked cool, then I was like, yeah, this is good and stuff. But the stories and the characters were so well written. I mean, I enjoyed the plot. I enjoy the fact that the series is truly timeless. And I think the way they approached developing and handling it was truly magnificent. Because if you think about it, they set it in like sort of saying sort of like I guess 1930s aesthetic. It's definitely a noir. kind of, I mean, in some sense, it is sort of retro futuristic in some sense. I mean, if you look at things like Mr. Freeze, for example, or if you look at sort of like some of the technology, like with Hardak, um, that sort of does have a bit of a 50s, 60s vibe. So it is a little ambiguous of a sort of like, I guess you could say, the time setting of when it's supposed to be, but it still looks good. It looks really great. I mean, the hand drawn animations look good, and I think the designs overall look great, and because of that. But like I said, the characters and the writing is also so well done. I mean, if you look at all the characters that you have there, each one, has their own unique personality and style. If you look at, say, like Joker, for example, Mark Hamill definitely did a good job voicing him, and he is. I mean, I don't want to start anything, but he could sort of be considered the definitive Joker, just because of his performance with that role. And then if you look at, like, say, for example, Two Face, like that's a really good character development that they had, starting it off with being as Harvey Dent, even episodes when he was just Dent, and then eventually becoming Two Face, and still yet seeing there is that character between Dent, or now Two Face, and Bruce Wayne as well. So you have that relationship there. You have like the Riddler. You have Ra's al Ghul. Like everyone in their stories, it's. I think it's well done. In the plot, in the stories also work as well. They're, in some senses, they are sort of, just like your nice, good Saturday morning cartoon, but they can get a little bit more complex. Like, for example, if you look at Robin's Reckoning, you can sort of like see how the tension between Dick and Bruce, and how, it was sort of stressed because of the fact that Bruce didn't want Dick to become just like him, but on the flip side, Dick doesn't understand why Bruce is telling him, is sort of like trying to keep him out of this, and I mean, you just have to watch it for yourself. I mean, I really can't give the series the justice it deserves, because it's really something that you just should go and watch. Then also Shirley Walker, she did a phenomenal job with the score. Initially, adapting Danny Elfman's theme from the Batman film by Tim Burton, but then she made it her own, and then she helped breathe life into the series as well by enriching the music. I mean, the themes that you hear and the motifs, they're all I enjoy hearing it. And really, I really cannot say that anyone has done a better job at writing Batman music than Shirley Walker. Now, don't get me wrong. There are good Batman themes out there. Like I said, Danny Elfman, he did a great job at creating it. But then what Shirley Walker, what she took from him, that was really only used at the end of the episodes. Like the initial opening, I believe that was solely her doing. But then, like I said, at the end of the episode, she adapted that and she put a little spin on it. But other than that, though, it was all her. And then there was the theme from Arkham City. That one was also good. I do think that was nailing Batman to a T. And then, I mean, I do. And again, of course, there's also the music from the Nolan trilogies. I'm not trying to discount those works at all, but I'm just saying that Shirley Walker did a great job, because not only with, just say, the theme of Batman, but the theme of other characters as well. The theme of Riddler, the theme of Joker, the theme of Robin, especially in Robin's Reckoning, the themes of Poison Ivy, the themes of so many characters. When they come on the screen and you hear the music, it's their music. That music is specifically them. So I think that she specifically did a great job with that. And yeah, and I mean, and part of, I mean, there were quite a few people who sort of like helped inspire me to even pursue this, but she was one of the reasons why I sort of picked up music composition, just because I thought, wow, she did a great job with writing music. I want to do something like that. And that's sort of like what I did. And I mean, I haven't done anything like that in a while. I've been meaning to get back into that, but I'll get back to that another time. But yeah, but like I said, and then also like, and then going back to sort of like the acting, the voice acting in the show is also pretty well and helps sort of things hold up. I mean, the deliveries from Kevin Conroy, Mark Hamill, like I've said before, and then everyone else, it suits them. It works well, and I think that it also helps with the dialogue. Now, the series also doesn't necessarily take itself too seriously either. I mean, if you look at, say, for example, Harley's Holiday, that one is sort of a more playful episode as compared to, say, something like A Bullet for Bullock. And even with those contrasting styles, it doesn't negate the quality that the episode has. And I don't really think there's anything they could have done to make it even better. I mean, the stories still hold up, and like I said, that's something that I've been able to appreciate that I couldn't appreciate when I was watching it as a kid. Is that when I watched it as an adult, I'm thinking to myself, "Wow, the writing for this episode is amazing." It's something that I can say like, "Oh, if I watch this 10 years in the future, or say if I was frozen in ice and they woke me up in the year 2763 and I come out and I say, "Oh, wow, let me see, does this series still hold up today?" I could watch and say, "Holy crap, this show is amazing. I love it. It's perfect. Do not touch this at all. It is perfect the way it is." And really, this show is possibly my favorite show of all time. I don't think there's really any show that I've watched that put in so much quality and is so refined that it matches the level of quality that this show has. And this show even pushed limits for its time as well. Violence on TV for kids was something that wasn't it wasn't permitted, because there were laws and regulations and stuff like that for showing stuff for kids. But this show sort of pushed it because they actually, I mean, this is going to sound really silly, but comparing the fact that they had real guns on the show. I mean, other shows would have had like lasers, but they had guns with bullets and stuff like that. And, people were getting punched and stuff and kicks. And, like, seriously, this was, like I said, I make it sound very silly, but there was actually full on, violence going on in the show. So the fact that they were able to push the limits as far as they could. I mean, I'm certain there were still things that they sort of had to tone down and stuff like that, but they were sort of able to say, okay, let's see how far we can take this. How far can we use it to improve the series? Because I'm gonna talk about this later, but and I mean in a different video, but if you look at, say, X-Men the animated series, Spider-Man the animated series, you see a lot of grappling and you see a lot of tackling, but that's probably about as violent as it gets. I mean, there are some punches here and there, but it's not like that at all. So Batman, I think, was really able to develop superhero cartoons for that age, because I know that like it was something that happened before, but it wasn't something that they did now. I mean, like going back like older cartoons, but then those days they didn't do it. So I think that what Batman the Animated Series did was something that really helped to sort of get things back to how they were before, and I definitely can appreciate it for that. But all that being said, was it good? Absolutely. If you haven't seen Batman the Animated Series, you should watch it. Watch it now. Buy the DVDs, buy the Blu-rays, whatever you gotta do, But that will do it for all today, everyone. And actually, I think the next episode I'm doing is a Spider-Man. Oh, wow. So, yeah. So, either way, let me know what you think of thought of Batman, or even think of if you like are watching it now for the first time. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you want to, you can follow me on Twitter, so that way you can stay up to date with more information and know other information. But until next time, everyone, I am iamxeracon signing off. Have a good one.